TG Geeks, episode 92, August 22nd, 2016. Have you ever been a victim of a horror film? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, and I am most certainly not a one-take, Phoenix, Arizona.
We got an exciting interview for you today, and we're just going to get right to it. And this week we have a special treat for you. We have the director of a film that is rather celebrated, Shant Hamassian, director of Night of the Slasher. We reviewed that film just before it premiered at South by Southwest, and it's gone on to do wonderful things. Welcome, Shant.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you and how you got into filmmaking and how you made Night of the Slasher, and what the impetus behind making Night of the Slasher was, a little bit.
To tell you the truth, I was inspired to make Night of the Slasher when I decided to quit the industry, actually, after having enough.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, after years of making a lot of material and trying to find the right fit and trying to get projects off the ground and also working, I kind of hit my last straw when, after several abusive, working environments, after this one project that just went real south, and I was just like, okay, screw this, I am done. I am done with everything, and I was kind of traumatized from the whole experience of trying and giving it my best for years at that point, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I was like, this is it, and I was, and I didn't want to do anything with film again. I'm like, I am just, I can't stand the people, this is just, a horrifying experience all the time. And no matter how many great material I have, still, it's money people are always, promising and excited about funding your thing, and financing goes through. And you feel like, nothing's ever going to happen. And so I was just like, I am done. And because I was done, I felt like watching a lot of horror movies to make me feel better, because that's what I love, and
Right.
I would watch a ton of Friday the 13th marathons on Netflix. I would just binge watch them,
Oh my gosh.
and then after I started watching a ton of horror films just to make myself feel better, after a few months of not taking any work, an idea hit me, and I thought about survivors of horror films and how they go through trauma, kind of like how I kind of had industry trauma.
Right.
And I thought to myself, well, how do people go on living? I think the real story is, when the final girl survives the horror movie, how does she keep on living her life? Well, it's going to be a lot harder now because you're traumatized. You have PTSD. You have a lot of other things. You have to deal with being haunted by what happened to you. You've been through an ordeal. And I thought about the horror movie sins, and I thought, oh, wow, what if some people who have trauma to, deal with their pain and exercise their demons, what do? They do horror movie sins, drink alcohol, do drugs, have sex. They do whatever they can to deal with the pain. So instead of doing the horror movie tropes of there's party girls, party guys, and they do all the horror movie sins, they get killed, what if somebody who's been through that decides to do it on purpose to deal with the pain? And so she realized, and that's how she literally exercises her demons. So the short film gives you kind of a taste of that, and what to expect in the feature version. I wrote the script first.
Right.
I wrote the script for the screenplay first, the full one, a year or two before I did the short film. I tried to get the screenplay financed, and of course with no luck, no one could understand or have any way of conceiving what this could be like tonally. They don't get it. People don't want to put the work or try to understand. They just read a few lines and they're like, whatever, here you go, we're not interested, you know? So I tried to make the short film. I'm like, you know what? If no one wants to make this screenplay, I'm going to, with whatever materials I have, get a portion of it, just something of it out there in the world, you know? Like, I'm going to put it out there.
Right.
No matter what. And I don't want someone else to come up with the whole Spock mask idea before I, you know, and makes it before I do it. I'm like, that I'm not letting that happening. So I, like, a little piece of this movie, if not the whole thing, is going to get out there, you know? And that was sort of my, like, rebellious thing against the universe. Like, screw you, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to take one of you down with me, you know?
Right.
So making the short film was also a nightmare. There's not enough money, of course. It's hard to come up with like $5,000, which was like the amount that I was trying to make it for.
Wow.
And which is what it was. And so a lot of things dropped. Financing dropped again. Cinematographers were dropping out. It was that cinematographers are like unhireable for short films because they keep, I mean, good ones, because they keep getting offers from commercials, and my cinematographers that would come onto the project were like, hey, I just got a gig in Hong Kong. I just got a gig in New York. See you later.
Right.
Good luck.
Wow.
So I ended up doing the cinematography myself because I've got like a background in some of that, but I just wanted someone who did it for a living. But what ended up happening is that my gaffer, who's also an aspiring cinematographer, also really talented and helped with the lighting and was so influential to this cinematography to the point where I just gave him the cinematography credit right
cool.
after shooting, actually. Yeah.
That's
So,
really nice then.
Yeah, so people, you know, like, it's, as my dad says, like, wow, all that, I guess that's what fate does when you just show up and, you know, because you were there, you move up, you know.
It's also good karma, too. So
good karma, yeah, absolutely.
Paying it forward.
And he totally deserved it, you know. Yeah. And a lot of my crew, the people that ended up being a part of the project, were just wonderful people that really believed in me and did anything to really help this happen. So about the dropping thing, financing would drop through, cinematographers would drop through, and our lead actress, we had a different lead actress who was attached for like a month, dropped out 2 weeks before filming.
Oh my gosh.
That's really horrible because it could take weeks to cast someone for this thing. And it's, as you guys know, it's like a shot in one take kind of thing. So
the choreography is just unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks. You have to know your where you're standing. I mean, the choreography, it's like you have to memorize all that stuff.
Exactly.
And you're not only just acting, but you're dancing, you're fighting, you're doing a lot of, you're chopping off a head, like crazy little things are happening. So this actress dropped out. We get Lily Berlina in auditions as soon as possible. She's perfect. The whole crew loved her. They're like, Shant, cast her now. So I do. And we do rehearsals like the very next day. We shot the movie on 5Ds for rehearsals 3 times. I would upload it to like a private Vimeo link, and the actors would study it. And the crew would study it to see how it's going to be shot. So it made us really prepared for the day of shooting. Of course, because we've had this consistency of things dropping before our very first take, before our very first shot of the movie, before we record anything, the red camera falls and breaks.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
On the Thursday night, where there's no rental houses open, so we have to figure out who owns a red camera, you know, because I only knew that one guy who did. So,
wow.
Yeah, I thought, I'm like, well, that's the end of my career. I'm done. Because, sorry, you were going to say something?
Just your career dropped out.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. That's what I thought.
Wow.
It's like the universe is conspiring against you, or at least testing you to see what kind of resolve you have in order to make this film.
Oh, exactly. You know, you can't tell. You feel like something out there is just fucking with you, you know, on purpose, you know. But anyway, and I had done a lot of. I had a shot list to determine how long it's going to take to get all of our shots done. Just a little spoiler. Yeah, it's not actually one take, you know, but it's stitched together in certain areas. So, like, yeah. So anyway, I had made a shot list for 2 days. I'm sorry, we had 2 days to do it, and in my shot list, I'm like, well, wow, we can get this done in a day and a half if we really hit our marks, if we don't screw up, right? So we lost exactly half a day. So we had exactly a day and a half to get everything by the time we got another red camera and figured out, found another owner. So we started shooting like at midnight. And by the time we finished by the next day, a day and a half later, basically, the sun came up the very minute.
Wow.
The very minute. And my producer was leaving town that morning, so he made it to his flight just like the minute of as well. So everything together at the minute of.
Wow,
So
that's incredible. I thought the short film was brilliant, and I can't wait to see the finished product of the feature film. So to see all of the different things that can happen. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Have you started that? Are you still in pre-production? Are you have?
Well, after we got the short film completed, it premiered at BFON, Busan International Fantastic Film Festival. Which is a really prestigious genre film festival, and it's and then it went on to play in over 150. I think we got into our 155th one recently.
Wow.
And because of the amount of press we were getting, we had a great publicist that worked with us and put us in touch, Patricia Chica. You know, she got a lot of journalists and the media to write about the film, and I promoted it on Facebook. And through the numbers on Facebook, it went through a couple million feeds.
Wow.
Which is astounding. I think it's been about 3 million feet so far, and so around November, I started getting contacted by agents and managers and some studios, production companies, and I couldn't believe it. I really didn't count on them. I really didn't care to, the goal was to get it made independently, but I didn't expect the industry to respond and start seeking me out. You know, I didn't care anymore at that point. But I was a little shocked. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So I'll meet with them, you know. Now they're interested.
Exactly.
So
do you think
you can take your time now?
Yeah. Do you think they're interested because of the initial concept of the story, or was it the idea of the shot in one take? Because, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, despite the fact that you said it was it was a little bit stitched together, I mean, I didn't know that, obviously. When I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he filmed this thing in completely one take. I mean, it looked utterly seamless. So I was wondering, what do you think was it that really got everybody in the industry excited about it?
it was a combination of the full package. The concept looked interesting. The still images and trailer that I put together looked great. The people who had seen it wrote raving reviews about it. Was spreading all over the internet, and it was growing in popularity. So it's like, you know, like it looks like a really hot property, and it is a hot property, and it's only been growing since then. So I just started taking meetings with people, and I've been taking meetings with, you know, the past 9 months, and then all of a sudden the studios that I had and production companies that I had met with, well, we'd love to recommend you a few ones we like working with. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm taking meetings again, but I'm currently, but I have interest currently from an EP who has proof of capital and financing. So we're working together. So it seems like this thing is going to be a go pretty soon. I don't want to discuss much more about that.
That's perfectly
No
understandable.
problem.
And I'd rather talk about the short, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wondered if there was anything specific that you had nailed down yet, but if you don't, we don't want to.
Oh no, we don't want to jinx anything.
No, we don't want to mess it up.
We don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Let's keep talking about the short.
Sure.
I mean, there's still tons of stories in there that I think you guys would love to hear about.
So for people who are going to be seeing this at South by Southwest, Horrible Imaginings. Oh, there's already a South by Southwest. For people who'll be seeing this,
do you want to re-edit that? Do you want to say that again?
No, we'll let it go out because it's always fun to hear me flub.
we let most of our flubs go out.
Yeah, that everybody can laugh at me. So for people who'll be seeing this in San Diego, for Horrible Imaginings, I mean, like I said, one of the things that just really amazes me is the fact that it's this one take kind of idea. Where did the idea to make this a one shot film come from?
A couple of things, actually. Simultaneously, I thought I decided to do it in the one take style was because a lot of people seem to flock to one take material, and they think and I saw a few horror shorts that were done in like one take, and it was getting some press, and I was like, this horror short is the most not like unspecial thing I've ever seen. Like, and the one take isn't even that believable. The character walks into a dark room and emerges into a light room, and it's like, well, that you can easily cut through there. I can do a much better job and have more interesting shots, and so I wanted to do it to show that people think, if you do something in one take, they think you're a good filmmaker. That's not true. It's everything else. There's so many other components to that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking show people this is how you do a good one-take film and do things that people haven't done before. Throw in a dancing scene, some drama, some humor, and some action. Some really complicated action, but in a very simple setting. Like, we didn't have cars exploding or anything, we had just two people having a knife fight. So I wanted to do something that I've never seen before, but that I'd like to see. And I was going to do this traditionally by cutting with wides, mediums, and close-ups. Originally, because we didn't have, again, enough money to get dollies and some other equipment, one of the cinematographers had said, I have a Ronin. It's kind of like a Steadicam.
Right.
And he says, and I said, oh, that's great. I'd love to work with you because I hate dollies. With the tiny crew, everyone's wearing multiple hats. I hate carrying those heavy things.
Right.
Even though they make great shots. But on a short film with a tiny crew, it's not fun to build a track and move a heavy thing around. So I thought, wow, well, if I have a Ronin, what kind of shots can I get with that? And I started thinking about connecting all my shots together with more movement. And I thought, sorry, hang on, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. So I thought about the Ronin, and basically the way Spielberg does it, he has a lot of individual, if you break down his movies, he has individual compositions that are connected between movement. So you get to the close-up and the wides all in one take, so you still compose your shots, you just have to figure out how to connect it. And I realized by short film, there's no time passing, it's all one scene. Everything's all connected anyway. So I decided to shoot in that way. So of course, naturally, once I figured out how to make my movie proper, the cinematographer dropped out, so I didn't get a Ronin. So I ended up doing the entire thing handheld myself.
Wow.
And I realized that it's possible to do it handheld, and even better because of the nature of the story. But there's some shots in Mad Max: The Road Warrior back in the like the one with Mel Gibson, the early
'80s.
Yeah. I listened to the commentary, and it was George Miller and his cinematographer, whose name I forget. I'm going to look that up right afterwards. But he was talking about a lot of these still shots and a lot of these little minor movements. He just did it handheld, So I thought, okay, well, I think I can pull that off, to have a lot of smooth transitions and just hold the camera steady. Because when you think handheld, you think shaky cam in movies that are overused in like the Bourne movies and stuff. So
they're more like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I hate the vomit cam.
Exactly. So I forgot that. I think we live in an amnesia filmmaking society where, oh yeah, you can hold the camera and people forget that it's handheld. You just simply hold it and aim it at whatever you're trying to get in the shot. So that was it. It was a combination of I couldn't afford the equipment or didn't want to use the equipment. It was I just simply didn't want to use a dolly, and I wanted to prove that I could show people how you make something one take tastefully and not as a gimmick, you know. And also it's going to work stylistically for the feature because when the killer comes out, we never cut away. It's always a one-take thing with the killer for scenes in the feature version. So it helps tell this.
Oh, excellent.
What's that?
That's excellent.
Yeah, because you're not cutting or editing away from the danger. We're stuck and you're in it, and you can't look away. You're trying to find your way out in that one-take style. So that's basically the design of the feature version.
Well, one of the things that I really love about what you did with this short is that by doing it in one take, I mean, yes, you do get that subconscious realization of it being in real time as opposed to when you see a regular theatrical, big studio cut, because it has all those edits in there. So you kind of lose sense of the real time, as seconds ticking away. You do feel that when you watch this, and that's one of the things that I really loved about this short and why I found it so unbelievably compelling. So when watching it, obviously one of the things that came to my mind was the logistics. Now you've gone over some of those. What kind of preparation time? I mean, once you realize that this is the direction you're going to go, what kind of preparation time and how much rehearsal time did you have to go through? I mean, so obviously you had to get a new actress, as you mentioned earlier, but what kind of rehearsal time and blocking time, etc., did you have to go through so that by the time you actually got to filming this, you were able to do it smoothly?
Okay, so about like 2 weeks before shooting this, on our first day of rehearsal, with our different lead actress, she dropped out. Our lead, the previous lead actress, she dropped out on the first day of rehearsal, and I was really pissed off. So, and I still hadn't decided to do the one take thing actually at that point. So. Now I remember, it was after she left I decided to do it in a more one-take fashion. So, and I think it was because she left. I showed up to the location for the rehearsal anyway, and I started taking photos of all the compositions that I wanted. So I already had all the compositions in my mind, and I figured, we'll just cut to this, cut to that. And in the middle of the rehearsal, and I'm using my producer, she was filling in for the actress for all the shots. I think I got a phone call with a new cinematographer who applied for the job, and he was the one who had the Ronin equipment. And then I started thinking about my shots, in the one take style. I hired him on the spot. He didn't show up for work on our first rehearsal when I hired him, our second rehearsal, I guess.
That's a good sign.
But yeah, he didn't even say he was leaving the project or quitting it. I mean, we met with this guy, and he's like, yeah, this is good. This can be done. And I'm like, yeah, totally. And he never showed up, and he never even said he was quitting. I kept sending him text messages. I'm like, hey, where are you? Are you at least in the project? Are you going to do the project? Never heard back from him. I think he died.
I hate when that happens. It just... Yeah.
It's really inconvenient, for the filmmaker. I mean, how rude of them.
And you've never heard from him since? You've never heard from him since?
I have not.
Wow.
That's incredible.
I'm pretty certain he just flaked. I'm pretty certain he actually flaked.
Yeah,
so
we've had that happen before. So
he probably thought we were over our heads. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to do it this one take style. I figured out the logistics. It'll be easy. And it was easy. It's easy for me to at least compose the shots and put it together. And I've done tests. So it's not like I'm not like some amateur guy who's like, oh, we'll do this, it'll be easy, when it's really difficult and they have no idea of the ramifications of all the complexity of the project. So, but I've had experience, so I know what I'm talking about, and I think maybe he just thought I was just some moron who's like, oh yeah, it'll be easy, we can do this. And by doing it the one take and stitching the shots together.
I bet he's eating about a lot of humble pie right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he's seen it around on Facebook or anything. I mean, I'm not friends with him on Facebook, but maybe he's heard of it by now. But anyway, I forgot where we were with this one take question. Where were we going with it?
The preparation.
Yeah, the preparation. So anyway, he never showed up for rehearsal, so I shot the entire thing myself. I remember shooting it on our first rehearsal. Like, we would shoot this like nightly, so 3 days of rehearsal, shooting with the 5D, just testing and feeling out our shots and feeling our footing. I would upload it to Vimeo. I would send the link to the cinematographer. I'm like, look, we just shot it in one take with the rehearsal video. And he still didn't respond. It was crazy. Wow. But anyway, yeah, the actors were really dedicated. Lily Berlina, super dedicated. Scott Javor, who played the bait, the 30-year-old looking high schooler, which was done on purpose. We had a conversation whether he was going to shave or not, and I'm like, let's leave the beard on. Let's push it way over the top. That you're a high schooler who just looks like he's 30 for
right.
real. So we had a good laugh about that. So we designed his character to look that way. And our producer, Adam Lassar, he saved the project from crashing so many times. And so did Eve, Constance, our other producer. Basically, before our shoot day on a Friday, we were going to shoot on a Sunday. So on Friday, I get the masks back from the Spock mask. I had given it to my practical effects guy to do the spray painted white thing. And I said, it's like Michael Myers, but it's Spock. But so spray paint his skin white. And he's like, okay. So I get the masks back on a Friday. He had completely spray painted over everything and messed up the hair. And I'm like, what is this? What, I gave you 2 masks. You botched both of them. What happened?
I gave you one job.
I thought you wanted it to look like Michael Myers. And I'm like, no! I don't want it to look like Michael Myers. It's supposed to be inspired by him.
Oh, jeez.
It's supposed to look like Spock. It was, so I thought we were screwed. Again, several times I thought we were screwed before shooting. So my producer, Adam, we call all over the city to find another Spock mask. There's no Spock masks in LA at all because I had ordered them. Yeah.
How can there not be any Spock masks in LA?
In LA, there's no Spock masks. So, but he found Spock masks I forget where he went. I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's out in Riverside, somewhere in Riverside.
My Lord.
He drove 2.5 hours out of LA in traffic and got to a store that had masks. And the store was closing within 5 minutes.
Gee.
Yeah. He called me and he's like, okay, how many masks do you want? And I'm like, 3.
Yeah. Wow.
Back the shit up to the T. So then, what else happened? So the camera, I remember the camera falling, and he would also he was the only person on the crew that had money for insurance that we had to I had to borrow from him. So, insurance goes up and rent goes up. So we ended up spending $7,000 total for the film,
Wow. Wow.
So it was a nightmare to make. A true nightmare.
Well, I think it's brilliant. I love it. When we watched it the first time, it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I had to watch it several times. And I would also say that I think some of the best films that are ever made, whether they're feature length or whether they're short, are those that are born out of nothing but pain and trial.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to make sure every film I make, I'm going through pain and suffering,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll ask my, even if I have the best EP and producers to work with, and they're like, whatever you want, Shant, whatever you want. And I'm like, guys, please with me. Just a little bit.
So how long ago did you make this film, and how long has it been on the film festival circuit?
It's been we shot in December of 2014.
Wow.
And it took months to in post because I edited the thing within a week, in a couple days actually. I mean, it was easy. Just pick the takes that you want and stitch them together. And I went through a couple of composers. A friend of mine first offered to do it, and I didn't want him to do it, but he insisted, so I let him try coming up with a score, and that was a waste of time. It was like 2 or 3 weeks of my time, so that didn't work out. So I got the professional that I've always worked with before, Simon Michel. He did the score for Herman the Monkey, a web series pilot that I directed before that. Also created by my buddy Scott Javor, who acted in the film as a slasher. So anyway, but the score took months to do to get it right. It was like at one point, I asked Simon to just kind of throw everything out and start from scratch. You know, it's horrible sometimes, the process, but I mean, like at the end, I gave him a bonus for staying on the project much longer than we anticipated and doing so much more work. So that was tough, but we finally got that done. I think it was the score that took the longest to get right, because again, like the tone of the film, like a score dictates the tone of your film. So we also did that song, the original song. That took about a month or two. We produced an original song for the short film as well, Dying for Love, if you remember. So I think we completed the film around May or just a little bit before May and started submitting to a couple places. And when I got into Bifan, I started submitting like mad everywhere. And so all I would do daily is find new festivals and submit to them. I submitted to about just a little over 200 festivals, and ever since then, since May of 2015, we've been in 155. So we've had a pretty good success rate of getting into festivals. They say that if you get into a quarter of the ones that you apply to, that means you've got a good film on your hands, but we got into like 75%.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
tell us about how it was received at South by Southwest, because that's when we first learned about it through Patricia. She told us that it was going to have its a big showing there. And from what we understand, I mean, at least based on our numbers, a lot of people responded really positively to our review when in conjunction with South by Southwest. So what kind of reception did you get there?
It was it was a great response. They screened it 3 times. And each time, the screening response seemed to get better and better, actually. The first screening was like at midnight, literally at midnight. So people were kind of tired by then after the first day. But like when it had an earlier screening time, people were far more enthusiastic and awake. And again, like I've seen the film several times through a lot of different festivals, and people seem to really respond to it well. They laugh really hard, and they freak out and get scared during the scary parts. So it always hits the beats that I intended it to. And sometimes they laugh at things I didn't intend, which is great, Like, they'll find a little funny thing. Like, the part where the character cheers with her beer at the beginning, people seem to laugh at that. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But, so, and during the Q&As, I always tend to get, like, more than half the questions seem to be directed at me during the Q&As because I'm up there with several filmmakers.
Wow.
And then there's people who come up to me after the Q&A and they're like, hey, I drove from like Dallas to come see this,
Oh, that's cool.
And because they've heard about it for months. And but it's not just the reception in person. I mean, I still get emails every day or every week. I mean, I got an email this morning, and this is pretty common, but actually I'll read it to you right now. Verbatim, someone just sent me an email saying, where can I watch the film? I have never wanted to watch a short so bad in my life. I will pay. I must watch this.
Wow.
It has been months. It has been months since I first found out about it, and I think I'm going a little Norman Bates. Please let me know. I appreciate it. Good luck, and I hope you get funding for the feature-length version.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's incredible.
That's fabulous.
Well, we've seen it a number of times on our big screen TV, but we're really looking forward to seeing it on the big screen at Horrible Imaginings in San Diego. So,
yeah, very excited
about that.
So let's just say that for anybody who wants to
send you those emails and stalk you.
Yeah, for anybody who wants to send you an email, if anybody who wants to communicate with you, or learn more about you via social media, or learn more about A Night of the Slasher, do you have an internet presence?
Yes, I do. You can find Night of the Slasher on Facebook, where we update everything quite frequently. You can follow us on Twitter @TonightIsKiller. We also have a website, nightoftheslasher.com, and you can email me from there. And the short film will go online in October, actually.
Very nice.
Cool.
So, and just lastly, as we've said, we know that Night of the Slasher will be at Horrible Imaginings. Is this going to be like the last festival that it will be playing at?
Potentially. It may play elsewhere, I think, in October. I think it has some screenings in October somewhere. Sorry, but like I've got like dozens of festivals to think back on. But
Right.
But yeah, it's not the last one, but it's one of the last. Probably the last one in Southern California.
Right.
Probably.
So when we release this, probably Monday, we'll put a link to the review and all of your specifics, where you can be found and all that, and point them to Horrible Imaginings Film Festival if they want to see it. So we really appreciate you being on the show this time, and thank you for helping us understand more about Night of the Slasher.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate the interview.
Hi, I'm Patricia Chica, director-producer of Morning After.
And I'm Christian Hotko, writer and actor of Morning After. And you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And here are a few selected birthdays for August 22nd through August 28th, 2016. August 22nd, Ray Bradbury. Dorothy Parker, the one that you get all the crazy Facebook memes, the Dorothy Parker memes.
Ah.
Yeah, she was born in like 1893 or something like that. Also on August 22nd, Claude Debussy. August 23rd, Gene Kelly and Barbara Eden. Interesting that we're talking about Gene Kelly since we
Just did watch Singing in the Rain, and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of Singing in the Rain feedback.
Yeah, interesting. Also, August 24th, Rupert Grint, Stephen Fry, and Kenny Baker. So he died like a week before his birthday.
I think that's why he was actually 82, but I think that's why some news stories were reporting him as being 83.
Yeah. Also, August 24th, Marlee Matlin.
Whom we had the pleasure of watching at Disney World some years ago. She was
Quite
amazing.
Quite a number of years ago, yeah. August 25th, Sean Connery, Tim Burton, Leonard Bernstein, or Bernstein, however you wish to say it, and Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. Also, August 25th, Raleigh Fingers.
Wow. So a lot of people don't know. He really made the handlebar mustache enormously popular to where at one point everybody, I think on the Oakland A's, wore a handlebar mustache.
Yeah. In fact, the picture on the birthday site that I used had him still with a handlebar mustache.
Oh, good grief.
And also on August 25th, Tom Skerritt. August 26th, Chris Pine. August 27th, Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee-wee Herman, Vic Mignogna, and Kung Fu Tzu, born in 551 BC, more commonly known as Confucius. August 28th, Billy Boyd, Amanda Tapping, Armie Hammer, Scott Hamilton, and Donald O'Connor. Interesting.
There's another Singing in the Rain connection.
Yeah, interesting. What was it that we ran across the other day? It was Fess Parker. No, it was Fess Parker and Davy Crockett.
David Crockett, that's right.
Separated by a couple of days.
Yeah.
Also, August 28th is the birthday of Jack Kirby. And we want to tell you about a little thing. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, the second annual Jack Kirby birthday celebration in Phoenix at the Torch Theater, 4721 North Central, from 12 to 2. They're going to be doing some dramatic readings of some of his work, and it's only $5. And then at All About a Comics, just around the corner, from 2 to 4, Dave Beatty, The Janimal, and Russ Kazmierczak will be doing sketches. Also at All About Comics, Jack Kirby comics will be on sale.
Will Jack be
there?
there?
A bunch of them. I don't think so.
Oh, darn.
In spirit, maybe. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go on over to chuckchat.com and find Technorama and listen to our friends Chuck and Craig, and occasionally us. So now it's time for
Dance music.
Dance music. We're going to dance to the feedback.
That's right.
Feedback dance. Let's do the feedback dance.
I think you got a new song there now. The feedback dance. I like that.
Yeah, the feedback dance.
Yes. So we got some feedback. This is in regards to a little article we ran last week about Killer Friends, and we will talk about that article in the next segment. But I'll just go over the feedback now. We got something from Patricia Chica. She was the one who put us in touch with Zach Noe Towers and Killer Friends, and she said, "Thanks so much. We love TG Geeks of TG Squared Studios podcast. They're so sweet, kind, and funny. Great interviewers, too. Thank you for supporting Killer Friends by Zach Noe Towers." And on the heels of that, we got something from Zach himself. And he wrote, "Love TG Squared Studios. The Two Gay Geeks are the sweetest."
Yay.
Aw.
Ain't that cute?
It's really cute.
If they only knew.
Yeah, really. And then we got epic feedback from who else? Looky. And this is in regards to our last episode, episode 91.
91.
Where we started off doing a little bit of singing. 91. Where we started off with a little bit of singing in the rain shtick. And, of course, they replied with, "No worries. Knew you were quoting from Singing in the Rain from 1952. Well, you know, if anybody was going to know, it would be them."
Yes, it would be the twins.
Yes. "Sounds like both enjoyed the film and are having a good time discussing some favorite scenes." We always have a good time watching it. "We, at Looky Show, were considering whether or not to review the title for a future movie round. Haven't sorted the picks, but it's on the list. Hey, you know,
that would be fun.
If you two do it, I want to know about it. I mean, well, obviously, I like to watch your segments anyway, but I'd really, I would seek that one out."
Yeah.
And then they write, "Film history tidbit, which might be of interest." And this is an excerpt from the Gene Hagen profile from Turner Classic Movies. "To movie audiences, Gene Hagen, the actor, will forever be Lena Lamont, the character, as we know her in Singing in the Rain. Lena Lamont's voice, the character's voice, is described as being totally unsuited for talking pictures. Lamont's voice is dubbed in the talking segments by Debbie Reynolds' character, but in real life it was a different story. Director Stanley Donen said, 'We used Gene Hagen dubbing Debbie Reynolds, dubbing Gene. Gene's voice is quite remarkable. Although the singing voice is somebody else, from what I understand, but that is her speaking voice.
Yeah.
So anytime you're watching the finished footage of the Dancing Cavaliers, you would actually be hearing Gene's real voice, not Debbie Reynolds pretending to be doing Gene's voice. So the next feedback then?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got something from Brian Weber.
No, on down to the 125.
On to 125? Oh, talking about the film festival?
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about, I believe this is Horrible Imaginings.
Yeah.
Since it's a film festival with a focus on the horror genre, perhaps some of the Horror Channel hosts might be interested in hearing about various films, guests, events, etc. Can let them know you're covering the festival.
Yeah, we run something each week, so we'll add a link in the YouTube.
Sounds good. Time. Okay then. And then they did finish up. We had a little bit of a derailing last week, and there was some laughter, and I guess somebody said, "It's my turn, isn't it? I'm sitting here just looking at the script.
Yes, that was me.
And they replied with both of you falling about, laughing, cracked us up to, no worries, the Lions probably just went out for a cool drink since broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, U.S. They'll be back in a bit. And then they had something for you, Keith. They said, where you mentioned we want to give a shout-out to Lookie, the
We
series.
always give a shout-out to Lookie.
And said the twins, Sasha and Dagmar, the co-hosts, are a hoot. They gave us lots of love on Twitter. Thank you so much. And then you gave them a big description about where we can find them. And we will do that again at the end of this episode, so I won't necessarily cover it now. But I did say, absolutely, it's a wonderful show. And their response was, certainly our pleasure. Thanks for both the mention and the entertaining way in which it was delivered. What an adorable shout-out. So thank you. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lookie.
And then lastly, we got something from Arkle, Brian Weber, and this is in regards to a story we ran last week, which we will cover in the next segment. And it's simply about a significant character on one of the CWDC shows that's supposed to be gay this coming season. And Brian Weber wrote, and of course, the picture in the article shows us the already demonstrated to be bi Sarah Lance. Ha!
Yes. So that's it.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
End of the feedback dance?
That's the end of the feedback dance.
Okay. Well, we'll keep dancing on. If you want to comment on our episodes or our articles or anything, we would be happy to hear from you. Please go ahead and comment on our Facebook posts, on tggeeks.com, on our articles, on our YouTube channel, or any place else that you find us. Or you can call our listener feedback line at 469-TGGeeks. That is 469-844-3357. And remember, play nice.
Hello, this is Miguel Rodriguez, director of the Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
Okay, got a few things I want to cover. Starting off, and this is a story we actually ran 2 weeks ago, and I really wanted to cover it last week, but there wasn't an opportunity to do so, so we'll do it now. And this is in regards to the CW Seed. Now, for people who don't know what that is an app that will actually allow you to stream very specific content from the CW that may not necessarily appear on their show. And last year, they did an animated series on Vixen. And what made it really exciting is that they actually got some, Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin reprised their roles as the Green Arrow and Flash, respectively. And the actress who voiced the role of Vixen for the animated series, she ended up actually playing Vixen towards the latter part of the Arrow season. Well, they're building more on that right now because the CWDC's universe is going to get a little bigger and a little more diverse, because right from a panel at the Television Critics Association Summer Tour, they announced that there's going to be a new summer series for the CW Seed, and it's in regards to a character that a lot of people don't know about. He's simply known as the Ray. I know him because I've read about him.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
He was originally one of the freedom fighters from the Earth X, is the dimension that he was from.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess he sort of got a little retconned a little bit here, a little bit there, and he's going to be gay.
So it's going to be CD then.
CD. I don't get it.
CD, CW, C.
Oh, not compact disc?
And DC.
I'm
Anyway.
beginning to sound like George Takei there. In any case, yes, the character Ray will be gay. Yeah, that was intentional. I'm sorry. That was cheap of me. In any case, yes, they're introducing... Oh, thank you. Make sure to tip your waiter. So, yes, they're bringing in this character, the Ray, who will be gay. Thank you very much. And what's interesting is, will he actually be featured later on, maybe in some of the live shows? So we don't know about that. I think it's kind of curious. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to go about that. And the CW has been really pushing diversity in their DC shows. We got Curtis Holt, who will be Mr. Terrific in Arrow, and we see him. He has a husband.
Right.
Then there's Legends of Tomorrow with White Canary, and we certainly know her backstory. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. And again, that article will be in the show notes for this episode. But wait, it doesn't stop there, because it was announced that a significant character on one of the CW DC shows this coming season will come out as gay.
Interesting.
Now, if you go to the article on our website, and this is what Brian Weber was talking about, there you'd see a picture of Supergirl, Flash, White Canary, and Arrow, and of course, White Canary we already know about.
Right.
Supergirl, well, she seems to have a thing for Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
And the Flash, well, we know Flash and Iris. I mean, that's notwithstanding, and we don't even have to talk about Arrow.
Right.
I mean, that guy, well, there's no question.
Straight as an arrow.
In any case, it's now being thought, well, it's going to be one of the secondary characters. So there's a lot of speculation going on regarding who it might be. Do you have any ideas who it might be? I mean, I don't think it's anybody from... If it's anybody from Flash, it could only be one character.
I don't know.
And that would be Iris's brother.
Yeah.
If there were anybody on Flash, it would have to be him. Legends of Tomorrow, heck, nobody. I mean, we've already know about White Canary. It's certainly not the Atom, unless it's somebody they bring in new.
Right.
And then Arrow. Well, they are introducing some new characters this year, but they keep saying that this is a significant character, so it's somebody we must already know.
Interesting.
You have any theories?
I don't.
I just had one this morning. It'll be Kara Danvers' foster sister.
Okay.
Because we haven't seen her date anybody. Think about it.
Yeah.
She hasn't dated a single person.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to... It's probably going to be her.
You never know.
Never know. But that's it. You know, if you want to read more about that, again, that story will be in the show notes for this episode. And then we just ran this one Saturday morning. Our favorite wombat
yeah.
from Ant-Man is going to be making a return in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We will be seeing the return of actor Michael Pena as Luis.
Oh my God.
The
crazy talking.
Shiny object, ADD cohort of it's not Hank Pym. It's oh God, I can't remember Paul Rudd's character, Scott Lang.
Yeah. I can't wait to see, because they always they filmed everything that he talks about.
Yeah.
So
just because it's him relating all the stories. I mean, and it's
and
so
it's such
funny.
a train wreck.
It's such a derailing, but it's hilarious, and only he could pull that off. I don't think anybody else could deliver those lines now.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they were to try to cast someone else to do it, no one can do it like him. And the thing is, in real life, he's very eloquent, very thoughtful in the way that he speaks. So every time he plays Luis, he's completely out of character. In any case, he will be coming back. And if anybody wants to see what Michael Pena is going to be doing beforehand, you will be able to see him in a big screen remake of the movie Chips. That's being put up by Warner Brothers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. So in any case, he will be making a return. Other people that will be making returns, obviously Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne. She's the Wasp. She has to come back.
Right.
And this is the one that's got me most excited. Michael Douglas is going to have a much bigger role,
Really?
apparently.
Wow.
The rumor is that they're going to be doing a lot of flashbacks when he played Ant-Man.
Interesting.
So I'm very excited about that. Of course, Peyton Reed will be coming back to actually do the directing, and Paul Rudd is helping along with the script. So I think this is terribly exciting. I'm very much looking forward to it. But we have a bit of a wait. We've got 2 years.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, hey, You know, we got plenty to look forward to in the meantime.
Yeah,
we
that's
got
true.
Doctor Strange coming out in November. We have 3, count them, 3 Marvel movies coming out in 2017. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok.
Not to mention Rogue One and
Well, that's not
everything
Marvel.
else.
But
I know,
but there's
but-
all these other movies. But
Right.
if you're just simply talking about Marvel studio films, we got 3 coming out next year, which I think is going to be awesome. And then that's going to be followed up by Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War. So there's a lot of stuff to kind of keep us going. And if that's not enough, hey, you know what? Pop in your Blu-ray. There you go.
Exactly.
So that's the story with Ant-Man. And then lastly, we must give kudos to Zach Noe Towers because his movie, Killer
Yes.
Friends, could very well be heading to the Oscars. Now, we
Yeah.
have a story on this on our website. That will be in the show notes.
We don't want to give anybody, we don't want to say that it is headed.
But it
It
is in
is-
contention
It is
to be in the Oscars.
Yeah, it is being shown in a theater for specifically films that are in contention for Oscars or can be nominated at
Yes.
that point. So
It's having an exclusive theatrical release at the, I believe it's pronounced the Laemmle Theaters.
the Limley.
Laemmle Theaters, September 2nd through the 8th. So we are keeping our fingers crossed. I think it'd be terribly exciting that somebody we interviewed could have in a movie that's up for Oscar contention there. I mean, I think that's
Could be
terribly
fun,
exciting.
yeah.
So, yeah, we'll definitely be keeping our fingers crossed that it makes it past this round and that, I mean, even if it gets nominated
Oh,
as
yeah.
a short, that will be very exciting.
Yeah.
You know, we can say Oscar-nominated director Zach Noe Towers.
There
How
we go.
exciting is that?
Yeah, that would
so,
be great.
yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Like I said, if you want to know more about Killer Friends, and this is a really, really funny movie.
It is great.
It is great. So just check out the link in the show notes for this story because we will also have the review for that movie as well. And I definitely have to say it is worth checking out.
It is. If you're in LA, go check it out.
Absolutely.
And always, we got our follow-up items. We have a calendar on the website for birthdays and film festivals and cons, etc. If you know of something that should be on our calendar, please send us a note. And as you may be discovered by now with all of our interviews that we do, that we are huge supporters of independent creators, not just film, but any kind of creative outlet, whether it is comics or film or music or writers, art, etc. And we know we're always pushing something, but,
It's for a good reason.
it is always for a good reason and a good cause. Check them out. Check out the independent creators that are in your area. If there is a Indiegogo campaign
or some sort of a Kickstarter campaign,
or even if they're just doing sketches, or you hear about an independent film or a film festival, go check it out. It's worth checking out because there's some really great stuff out there by the independent creators.
You could see a lot of independent creators, artists. When you go to like a Comic-Con,
Oh yeah,
or any kind of comic book convention, there are a ton of independent artists out there. I mean, like we had our interview with Russ.
Yep.
Who's an independent artist and a bloody good one and terribly funny individual to boot.
Yeah.
So, check them out if you get a chance and support them if possible because they deserve it.
Support independent creators. And speaking of, Horrible Imaginings Film Festival in San Diego.
Cannot wait.
I can't wait. September 7th through the 12th at the Museum of Photographic Arts in Balboa Park. It's a film festival not to be missed, and we are sponsoring the LGBT block of films on Saturday afternoon. Wednesday through Friday is evening only, and Saturday and Sunday are all day. Tickets are still available at hifilmfest.com. Check out our interview with Miguel Rodriguez, who is the founder and curator of Horrible Imaginings Film Festival. That's episode 87. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. Phoenix Comic-Con FanFest 16, October 22nd, 23rd in downtown Phoenix at the Convention Center. More information at phoenixcomiccon.com. And for you people that are year-round Halloween fans, Keen Halloween returns to Phoenix September 23rd and 24th at the Convention Center. More information at keenhalloween.com.
Give a special shout out to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, Doctor Who Talking Who, on Twitter. They are at Talking Who, and they're the ones who put out the Fancast Guide like every other day. In fact, just yesterday, I believe it was, they ran one of our stories again. Yay. So, yay for the Doctor Who Fancast Guide. And also, yay for the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. That gets put out every day or so, and that's put out by Social Justice Scald. He is also known as Brian Weber, and you can follow him by going to Twitter at Arkle, A-R-K-L-E. And he also has on Tumblr the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes. It's very educational. It is very amusing. So check that out when you have some personal time, because you don't want to be doing that while you're at work.
And, of course, we always give a shout-out to The Lookie Show.
Who?
The Lookie Show.
Who?
Lookie, the twins.
Oh, them.
Them, yes. We love the twins. They're great.
As based on our feedback.
Yeah, on Twitter, at Lookie Show, and check out their YouTube channel, Lookie Show. If you like old movies and great movie reviews that have a little bit of camp, check it out.
Must give a special shout out to our favorite Facebook group, The Gay Geek. Well, it's our favorite because it's The Gay Geek. Duh. I mean, there's some really phenomenal content there. I have managed to acquire the most awesome iPhone wallpaper and even desktop wallpaper from some amazing artists that are there. I mean, I love to go there. There's great conversation. There's great people there, and they have a great moderator, and his name is Jeremiah Reeves, and it is because of him that we are able to share our shows on that Facebook group. So check it out, Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/thegaygeek.
And thank you, Jeremiah. Yes. We want to remind you to occasionally, if you would, please, 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 click on an Amazon ad that we have at the bottom of each of our articles or over in the widgets on the side of the website. Doesn't cost anything, and you don't have to buy anything. Just tells Amazon that we're getting traffic to them. And if you do decide to buy something, use one of our search ads and buy something through Amazon that way. We get a little kickback from them if you do that, and thank you for your consideration. And lastly, please, please rate us on iTunes.
That would mean so much to us.
Absolutely. Next week we might have a little interesting interview for you.
Yes.
Maybe a composer. We'll have to see. We're in talks right now. So check it out next week. Stay tuned. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We will have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.